You know, talking to a lot of people, do you know that a lot of people don't know that the NBA has divisions? In fact, I want you to, if you want to make like $50 or whatever, or bet however much you want to bet, I asked someone to name all the divisions, not name all the teams or whatever, but all the divisions in NBA. For people that don't know, there's the Atlantic Division, the Central Division, the Southeast Division, the Northeast Division, and the Pacific Division, and the Northwest Division. Kind of like how I did with the NFL, breaking down division by division, I'm going to do that with the NBA. The preseason started yesterday, I think, or starts today, something like that, or starts Sunday. I think it starts Sunday with the Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the preseason isn't as important or the preseason is nothing like the regular season. There's going to be a lot of players that don't get a lot of minutes. Hell, we might not see a lot of stars play because of the shortened season. We're going back. I mean, last year, not only was it a rushed year, but there wasn't as many games. I think there was 72. This year, they're going back. That's why they're going back to how regular is 81 games. So that's why, it kind of feels rushed. Seeing as wait, didn't the Bucks just win the championship? Yeah, they're going back to the regular calendar. But what I'm going to do is I want to talk about the Central Division. To me, outside of the Milwaukee Bucks, that's probably the weakest division. That is the Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers, the Chicago Bulls, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Detroit Pistons. Let's start with the Pistons, man. The Pistons. There's not really much good with the Pistons outside of Cade Cunningham. You did get the number 1 overall pick. I do want to see how Cade Cunningham looks. He looked really good in the summer league. I want to see what he looks like against actual NBA talent. But outside of that, I mean, Jeremy Grant's really good, and he did just win a gold medal with Team USA. But Kalen Hayes, maybe, I don't know. That team. The team, I don't see them winning many games this year. I'm probably thinking maybe 15, 16 tops, maybe 20. I don't know. But I am curious to see what Cade Cunningham is going to look like, honestly. I think he's going to look really good, seeing as though he was a number 1 overall pick. And that's what sucks with sports. Usually the best player in college or best player wherever you get them from goes to the worst team, which when we talk about fit, it's tough because it's like, damn, you're going to the worst team in the league. But I think I don't really see much from Detroit outside of Cade. I think he's probably the biggest story out of the Detroit organization. Now, again, you do have Jeremy Grant, but I think that the story will be around how does Cade handle how good is he really when we talk about NBA talent. So that's the Detroit Pistons. The Cleveland Cavaliers, that's yet another team that I don't see much. I don't see Darius Garland. I don't see Jonathan Allen. I don't see Colin Sexton really get. Now, you do have Kevin Love still, but this team sucks. It's a lot of youth. It's a lot of youth, and well, let me say it's a good blend of youth and veterans, but the veterans aren't the best. Like right now, Jonathan Allen is one of the veterans. Kevin Love, who is not in his prime anymore and hasn't really been a deciding factor for this team since LeBron's been there. It's not, it's Cleveland's not that good. Cleveland's not that good at all. Now, I will say that the team that did the most, like the absolute most, from this division in the offseason was the Chicago Bulls. You bring on DeMar DeRozan. You bring, what's his name? You bring Lonzo Ball. I think that they're going to be exciting. Do I think that they're going to be good defensively? Most definitely not. No. Oh, I did forget that Cleveland got Lauri Markkanen. So there's that. But I think Chicago will be interesting. I think that they'll be good. I don't see them defending anybody. I mean, yeah, no. I don't see it because, again, when you look at the players that they have compared to, how they've been, DeMar DeRozan has never been a defender. What's his name? Zach LaVine has never been known to be a defender. Lonzo Ball, he has the talent to be a defender. It's just, is he going to be one? Alex Caruso is okay as a ball defender, and of course we know the cult following he has from LA. But I just don't see. I think they're going to be good, especially offensively. They also have Vucevic, who is not a defender. They're going to be good offensively. They have too much talent, too much. They have too many good offensive players to be a bad offensive team. I just don't see them being a good defensive team. And when you're in, the Eastern Conference, when you're in the Central Division with the reigning champions, you're going to need some type of defense. This isn't like Brooklyn, and we'll talk about them probably tomorrow or the next episode or whatever. But this isn't like Brooklyn. You need some defense. But I think that the Chicago Bulls will be interesting. I think they'll be a really high-scoring team because of the moves that they made this offseason. So we'll just have to see. Indiana Pacers didn't make many moves. I do think, of course, you still have Domantas Sabonis, who to me is one of the most underrated players in the league. TJ Warren, I think that he's going to get a lot with Aaron Holiday being out or leaving. I think that he's going to be more of a focal point. And I am curious to see what they do with Miles Turner. It seems like Miles Turner is always on the trade block, even though he's a very good, serviceable center, usually amongst one of the league leaders in rebounds and blocks. I just think I don't know if he's gonna stay with the team or I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm excited to see what's going. Are they gonna be good? Now, I do think the Indiana Pacers with Rick Carlisle now, they're never really bad. It's just they're one of those teams where, are they good enough to be in the playoffs? And if they get in the playoffs, they're going to get smacked. Or are they just they're kind of like in the middle of the road team as far as they can make it to the playoffs, but they're not doing anything in the playoffs. Or they can just miss the playoffs, meaning they're not really going to have a good pick in the draft unless they do some trade or something. So I'm curious to see what happens with Indiana, because they've been this middle of the road team for a while, or probably ever since ever since Paul George left. So I'm excited to see what happens with them. And of course the Milwaukee Bucks, reigning champions. The question is, can they and will they repeat? I don't know. I do think that it would be. Let me say this: Giannis is one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. Drew Holiday was great. They did lose PJ Tucker, and I never thought I would say this, but that was a big loss for them. Losing PJ Tucker to go to the Miami Heat was big. Bobby Portis was great. Their best pieces, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday, they're all still there. The only thing is, I believe that injury or other teams that got injured kind of affected them winning. Now, I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to downgrade, or I'm not going to put an asterisk on this championship. They won it fair and square. They beat the Phoenix Suns. They did what they had to do. They were the most. They were at least towards the end of the year. They were the most complete team. They were firing on all cylinders offensively, and you had the defensive player of the year in Giannis, and two-time MVP, and now Finals MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo was playing the best basketball of his life. I mean, he finished the league with a 50 bird. Come on now. The only thing I say, and the only question mark or the only hesitation I have with them is, I want to see what happens. Now, I think that Philly, we'll talk about them maybe next episode as well, but I think Philly is out the question. Seeing as what happened with, or we'll talk about the Ben Simmons thing, probably another episode. But you didn't have to go against Philly last year. You went against the Hawks, where you're just supremely bigger than. You didn't have. I mean, you didn't. Kyrie Irving was injured. James Harden wasn't right, and KD was giving you the business. If it wasn't for this man wearing a size 29 shoe, you probably would have been out the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Or you wouldn't have made it to the NBA Finals. Even in the NBA Finals, you go against Phoenix instead of maybe going against a healthy Lakers team or going against a healthy Clippers team. So or hell, maybe a healthy Nuggets team. But all I'm saying is, and I'm not discrediting what they did. I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to play. You're NBA champion. Boom, do what you got to do. Congratulations to them for that. I don't know if they made enough moves to repeat. I think that you have to continue to evolve, seeing as though we're seeing what happened with Brooklyn. We're seeing what's happening with the Lakers. Golden State's getting back healthy. We're seeing what happened with some of the teams around the league. Hell, what's happening with the Miami Heat. So I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. I'm just going to hold the brakes and see if they're good enough to repeat. Now, I think Giannis is still going to be great. Giannis has improved year after year after year. Chris Middleton is probably one of the more underrated players. Jrue Holiday is definitely one of the more underrated players. So I think that they'll be good, and I think they'll definitely be in the conversation, especially towards the end of the year when we talk about who is championship caliber and who has a chance to actually win it. I just want to see what they look like, And honestly, with them, with the Milwaukee Bucks, it's not really as much as what they look like, because I kind of know what they look like. They didn't really make any moves this offseason outside of losing PJ Tucker. I want to see what everyone else around them looks like. And if they look like what I think they can look like, then we'll have some conversations. But if not, I don't know. We'll see.